Thank you. All right, are we ready to begin the meeting?
We are.
Okay, welcome everybody. This is the Lehigh County Authority Board of Directors meeting of February 13th, 2023. This meeting is being recorded. Everybody should be able to hear and be heard. If you have any problems, let us know either through a chat or phoning in. Let's begin the meeting with a roll call of the Board of Directors.
Thank you, Brian. Roll call. Brian Noggle.
Here.
Steph Bieber. Norma Cusick.
Here.
Ted Lyons. Kevin Baker.
Here.
Linda Rosenfeld.
Here.
Jeff Morgan.
Here.
Amir Famili.
Here.
Sean Ziller.
Here.
All right. So we have 7 board members present.
All right. The information was distributed to the board members in advance of the meeting. It was sent electronically, hard copy, and available on the website. Did anybody not receive their packet? All right, then let's begin first of all by introducing our new board member, Sean Ziller. Sean, would you like to say a few words just to help us know a little bit more about you?
Sure. You said a half hour, right?
I was kidding.
So thank you. It's great to meet the few of you that I have. I'm glad to be here and glad to be a part of the board. My name is Sean Ziller. I'm originally from the Wilkes-Barre area, so I hail from relatively close. My wife and I moved here in 2018. She's a nurse at Lehigh Valley Health Network Cedar Crest. I currently am the Community and Economic Development Administrator for the city of Easton. And part of that is managing the city's American Rescue Plan funding, in addition to just kind of regular economic and community development responsibilities. Most recently, in my previous employment, I worked for a private company that offered consulting services and technology resources to government agencies down in Philly. So that would be the Philadelphia Parking Authority and then SEPTA, which is the transit system down there. I was fortunate enough to be able to get the job with the city of Easton because before then I was commuting from Lehigh Valley to Philly every day. So even though my commute now is about 20 minutes, a lot easier. Again, very much happy to be here and kind of offer my perspective and thoughts and do some good work. Thank you.
Well, we welcome you. Thank you very much for that. You might get to join Kevin on his drive across 22 trying to get to our meetings. Okay, let's begin with the review of the agenda and any need for an executive session. Any changes, additions, corrections to the agenda?
Thank you, Brian. And I do want to acknowledge, I believe Ted Lyons just joined. He's iPad number 4. Ted, if you could confirm that's you. There he is. So
Ted Lyons reporting in.
thank you. Good to have you here. For the agenda, I have no suggested changes to the agenda. However, I am requesting an executive session following the close of the regular meeting to discuss a personnel matter.
Okay, thank you. And you did provide all the board members with the information on how to join that Zoom meeting in the executive session after this close of this meeting.
Correct.
All right. Moving on now to the approval of the minutes from the January 23rd, 2023 Board of Directors meeting. Norma?
I make a motion, we approve the minutes of January 23rd, 2023.
Second.
All right, can we identify who made the second?
Linda.
All right, Linda, thank you, Linda. All right, motion made and seconded. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. Thank you, Norma. At this point in time, we open up the floor to anybody in the public who has any comments or questions not related to one of the agenda items.
No, thank you, Brian.
No comment here, Brian. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Jennifer and Brian. All right, anybody else? Okay, moving on then, we have one item under action and discussion. It's under the title of wastewater, and it's the Allentown Division Kleins Island Wastewater Treatment Plant Primary Digester Number 2 Cleaning and Rehabilitation Project. Seeking approval, it is the salmon documents within our board package and digitally pages 8 through 11.
All right. Thank you, Brian, for this one. Chuck Bulk, our Chief Capital Works Officer, is here to present.
Thanks, Lizzo. Hi, everybody. This project is a project to empty and clean primary digester number 2 at the Kleins Island Wastewater Treatment Plant. We have a 5-year cycle to clean digesters at Kleins Island. If you recall, last year we cleaned primary digester number 1. So this year the cycle dictates that we clean number 2. So what this project is, it's primarily a sludge removal and dewatering project. We advertised this project for bid right before Christmas. We received bids on January 19th, and we got 3 bidders. That's on page 2 of the memo. And the low bidder is Mobile Solid Solutions. They're out of Somerset, PA. They do this type of work. They've done a lot of subcontractor work for Synagro and Denali. Their references checked out. They're given very positive reviews. There is quite a price discrepancy there, as you can see. Just for information about last year's project, the low bidder was SpectraServe, and their unit price per dry ton was $600. Okay, Mobile Solid Solution, the current bid under consideration, their price is $564 per dry ton. So it's a little under last year's 600 of SpectraServe. Last year, the SpectraServe's unit cost was far lower than the other ones. The second lowest bidder was over $1,000 per dry ton on last year's project. So I can't really explain the huge discrepancy other than we don't get many bidders on this type of work. And I think companies take a risk. You know, they roll the dice and say, well, I'm gonna bump up my price because there's only gonna be 1 or 2 other bidders. They take that chance. SpectraServe took that chance this year with going with $1,050 per dry ton. Quite an escalation from their unit price of $600 per dry ton last year. So I think it's just basic economics. They were counting on not many other people bidding, particularly this Mobile Solid Solutions. So anyway, we contacted them. They're comfortable with their bid. Their bid checks out. They have positive references. So we're recommending we take advantage of that decent unit price and award the project to them. Incidentally, last year's project was $318,000, and that was SpectraServe, but it wasn't apples and apples because it involved some additional mechanical work. Now I'm going to have a project in a few months, some mechanical upgrades to the same tank, but in the interest of timing, we wanted to get this bid out on the street and get this done before the summer months. So this is just the emptying and cleaning contract. So I'm asking for board approval for capital project authorization for SpectraServe, for Mobile Solid Solutions in the amount of $212,120. And then we got a professional services agreement for GHD. They are our design consultant, and they're going to provide some construction phase, part-time inspection and management. And then there's some staff money and contingency money in there for a total CPA amount of $243,120. Any questions?
Any questions of the board?
One question, Chuck. So I know you clean the tanks every 5 years. Do you anticipate getting in there and doing an inspection of the tank or the piping, or is that not needed?
Yes, that's included. Our engineer does that. We document that. Then,
So that GHD will be doing that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
great.
Chuck, I have a question. This is Brian. For the work that's going to be done subsequent to this work, will they have to do any draining or cleaning of, in other words, duplicating what work is being done now?
no, Brian, what they're going to do with the next project, they're going to replace some exterior stairs. And they're also going to install a roof-mounted compressor that powers the mixing system. So they're going to replace a compressor that was procured under last year's project. So there will be no internal tank access required for the next mechanical rehab.
Okay, thank you. So we have before us a request for authorization of a capital project construction phase for $243,120. A general contract award to Mobile Solid Solutions for $212,120 and a professional services authorization to GHD Incorporated for $13,500. Do I hear a motion and a second?
So moved. This is Norma.
Is there an name?
Second, Sean.
All right, motion made and seconded for this capital project authorization. Are there any questions?
Chuck, just unrelated question. I was reading in an article that there is a fire in the potassium sodium permanganate manufacturer in the US, and there are larger use in the US in the wastewater treatment
For odor control.
odor control. They said that was providing 80% of the supply of the US. Do we have any challenge to get hold of potassium sodium permanganate into?
As far as I'm aware, we haven't had any issues obtaining it.
issues.
We really don't use a whole lot of it either. So it's probably why we haven't had too many issues getting it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions related to this capital project authorization? All right, then let's have a roll call on the approvals.
A roll call vote on the primary digester tube cleaning. Brian Noggle,
Yes.
Norma Cusick,
Yes.
Ed Lyons,
Yes.
Kevin Baker,
Yes.
Andy Rosenfeld,
Yes.
Jeff Morgan,
Yes.
Amir Famili,
Yes.
John Ziller.
yes.
8 yes votes.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you.
That's the last of the action and discussion items. We now move on to item number 6 on the agenda, monthly project updates, information items. That information was attached to our board documents.
All right.
Digital package pages 12 to 19. Sorry.
Thank you, Brian. So this report, Sean, for your benefit, we provide once a month to give the board a kind of a look at what's coming up at a future meetings, as well as just general updates on projects that have been approved previously, if there are any. So in the first section of the report, pages 1 and 2 are upcoming agenda items. And you'll see we have quite a bit on the agenda for the next meeting. So today's short meeting will be followed by a more lengthy meeting at the end of the month. We will be doing a financial review for December 2022 and time permitting a January 2023 report as well from Ed. He's busy trying to close the books and get the audit started. So we'll definitely do December and to be determined about January. We'll also do the election of officers, which I know Norma is working on, and our regular system operations report. At the next meeting, we also have, I'll say, 3 related projects on wastewater. They're all related to our inflow and infiltration removal program. One is on the Western Lehigh grouting project for laterals, and 2 in the city for both construction phase and design phase of future I removal project. So a lot of I discussion at the next meeting. Starting on page 3, we have project updates, and you may recall prior reports, we didn't have a lot of updates. And so I did ask staff to go through all the projects and provide updates to the board and on anything that we haven't shared with you previously. So there's a number of projects here. Happy to answer or have staff answer any questions on those. I did want to highlight 2 in particular at the bottom of page 5. There's 2 projects related to Spring Creek pump station upgrade project, and also the force main relocation project. Those are new. Those are marked as new. So this is new information. It's just here as information for now. And if there's future authorizations, we'll bring those to the board. Now, if there's any questions on the project updates, happy to try to answer them.
Okay, hearing none, we'll move on.
Part 3 of the report, just for Sean's benefit, is a listing of all the other projects that we have going on that the board has previously heard about and are in some stage of design or construction. And just to kind of keep them on the radar for you of what we have going on. There are a couple projects listed in closeout phase, which basically means the project is done and they'll come off the list in the next month's report. That's all I have.
All right, thank you.
Quick question, Brian. So just an update, or when will be the next update on the Act 537 plan? Not that we need one now, but
Yeah.
Seems like the biggest project at the moment.
So all 3 projects that are on the agenda for the next meeting are related to that.
Okay.
So we can weave some of that into there. We also have some work coming up to present the pretreatment plant master plan. And maybe Phil, is Phil on the call? Yeah, maybe Phil can jump in and just share if we think Arcadis or AECOM are going to be coming in the next couple of months to give any updates, broader updates.
Yeah, Jeff, as you know, we're under the preliminary screening of alternatives phase right now. And we're just starting to get towards the end of that screening phase. So I'm anticipating an update either in the first or second meeting in March.
Okay, great.
Probably the second meeting in March would be my guess.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Phil.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions? All right, we don't do number 7 and number 8 on the agenda. Those are saved for the second meeting of the month. Staff comments?
I have nothing additional tonight.
Solicitor comments?
No comments, thank you.
Hi, Mike. Any public comments on any items whatsoever?
No, thanks, Brian.
No, thanks, Brian.
All right. Board member comments.
I would just like to thank, Chris, I think somebody went out and checked those streets. It's a little better. So thank you.
We had some guys go out and do some tamping and some cold patch fill,
Yeah.
knowing that they're going to be repaved once the spring weather hits.
I know it wasn't gonna be smooth, and it really is a little better. But when you're driving a 19-year-old car and go over those things.
Thank you. All of the guys know they did a good job.
Right.
Any other comments? All right, then, nice short meeting. We are now going to adjourn this meeting, and we will come back for executive session at 12:30. And you have the information on an email from Liesl for that second Zoom meeting. Thank you very, very much, everybody, and see you later.
Thanks, Brian.